Alrighty. Looks like we are now live on Facebook. Good morning, everybody. And thank you all so much for joining us on another very warm Tuesday morning. Can you all believe that it is now somehow September? I cannot believe that we're almost into the fall. It certainly doesn't feel like it. And hopefully we'll start getting all the leaves changing here in South Florida before too long. Let us know in the comments right down there where you're watching from. Let us know what you're up to. Let us know what you did over the weekend. And if you have any questions for our very special guest today, you can also go ahead and leave those in the comment section right below. So our whole Pride Center staff is still working very hard, even during COVID. We're all working remotely, but you can get in touch with us by heading over to our website and looking at our staff directory. That's going to be on pridecenterflorida.org. Once again, pridecenterflorida.org. And you can also call us and get our staff directory. You can dial 954-463-9005. Once again, our number is 954-463-9005. Now at the center, we are doing virtual updates here on Facebook Live all throughout the week. On Monday afternoons at 1 p.m., we've got Lorenzo Robertson, who does updates. Then on Tuesday, we've got Coffee and Conversation right here at 11 a.m. Wednesday afternoons, our wonderful CEO, Robert Boo, does live tours of the residences at Equality Park, which you can see right behind him on his Zoom background. They are looking really incredible. And they've actually started putting some of the asphalt down, which is super exciting. We are getting very close to the finish line. And then on Thursday afternoon at 1 p.m., we're joined by Tatiana Williams, who does live updates and community resource sharing at 1 p.m. So the Pride Center is not open yet for HIV testing in person, but we are more than happy to help link you to places where you can get an HIV test. If you've got any questions about HIV testing, PrEP, PEP, or if you need help getting into care, you can call Tatiana at 954-463-9005, extension 206. And another program that I really want to share with you guys quickly is our LIFE program. Now, this is an amazing program for same-gender loving, gay, bisexual men who are living with HIV. And this is going to be getting started virtually at the Pride Center in September, a little bit later this month. Lorenzo Robertson is doing intake interviews virtually. You can give him a call at 954-463-9005, extension 306. And once again, the LIFE program is an amazing program that teaches great skills to help you thrive if you're living with HIV. This program is for same-gender loving men, bisexual men, gay men. Go ahead and give Lorenzo a call and he can give you all the awesome information. So before I turn things over to Bruce, a quick reminder, the best way to stay up to date on everything going on here at the center is to subscribe to our email newsletter. Head over to pridecenterflorida.org, sign up for the newsletter and you won't miss anything. Follow us here on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and if you're on Instagram, we are too. And now without further ado, I will turn things right over to Bruce. Bruce, take it away.
Good morning, and thank you so very much, Nick. Good morning, Facebook viewers. Thank you for joining us. We are so glad that you are sharing this morning and your precious time with us. This morning on our panel, we have our regulars, our CEO, Robert Boo, our Director of Development, Roger Rowan. Of course, you've heard from Nick and myself. I want to go ahead and jump right to our special guest. We have a special guest who is Stephanie Schneider, an elder law attorney. Stephanie has been a wonderful supporter of the Pride Center. She has been with our annual expo for 11 years, which is since its very first inception. And annually, Stephanie has always been able, up until the COVID little crisis this year, has always been able to provide us with an advanced directives day where she comes in with her staff and provides advanced directives for many people. So we hope to again start that next year. And we are so glad to have Stephanie with us this morning. Stephanie Schneider.
Good morning. Thank you so much, Bruce. It's good to see everybody and be with you this morning. And I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you, and we will get started. So is everybody able to see my screen?
We are.
Wonderful. So my goal today is to share with you some tips to help you successfully navigate through legal issues that have been coming up and may continue to come up because of COVID-19. And as Nick said, we want to take questions, so please use the chat box. So if you or somebody you know received a stimulus payment and you're concerned, does it affect my government benefits, like my Medicaid, my supplemental security check, or maybe my subsidized housing? The good news is that the answer is no. It does not impact your government benefits. It's not going to be counted as a change to your income. It's not going to be considered a change to your resources. And this is going to apply for 12 months. It's very possible that the government is going to increase this beyond the 12 months. So take a deep breath and rest assured that the stimulus payment does not impact your benefits. Now, what if you know somebody who happens to be in a facility, such as a skilled nursing facility? Nursing facilities are forbidden by law from telling a resident that they have to turn their stimulus payment over to the nursing home. That is illegal. If you hear about it, we need to make a complaint because that facility needs to be stopped and they could potentially lose their Medicare and their Medicaid funding. Everybody in a facility is supposed to be free from being financially exploited in any manner. So we want to be advocates for ourselves and advocates for our loved ones and our friends. The next question I'm hearing a lot these days is whether or not people are going to lose their Medicaid benefits. Can the states do this during the pandemic? And again, I've got good news for you. The answer is no. And we're very thankful that Congress passed the Families First Coronavirus Response Act, which provided us with a lot of protections, but most important for people receiving some sort of Medicaid assistance as long as they became eligible as of March 18th this year. Even if there's a change financially, that could mean, for example, somebody in the family passed away and left them a small inheritance. They are going to be okay. They are not going to lose their Medicaid assistance. But I want to recommend to everybody, don't just sit on the money, whether it's an inheritance or whether you had a lawsuit that's settled. You do need to take steps to protect that money legally and keep your Medicaid assistance. At some point in time, we are thinking probably in 2021, the Medicaid agencies are going to be having their caseworkers reach out and contact people and ask if there's any change in circumstance. So please take the time now, get the right advice. Don't rely on the internet, please. Don't rely on advice you're getting from just talking to other people. Get correct legal advice so that your future benefits are protected. Now, during this time, it's very likely that we're going to see an increase in either elder abuse, neglect, or exploitation. So it's really important that we use the resources in the community, including the Pride Center. So if you have taken in a friend, you've taken in a neighbor or a loved one, it's really important that for us to get through this difficult time, that we respect each other's need for personal space, privacy, and to be respectful. We also, it's very easy for us to sometimes be impatient, perhaps lose our cool, having to stay inside and not have as much physical freedom can be challenging. So take some deep breaths, be a great listener, repeat what you hear back. It makes for really good conversation and good communication that's effective. And remember to validate, even if we can't completely put ourselves in somebody else's shoes, try to validate what the other person is saying. It really goes a long way to having effective communication. And don't forget, We can still engage in hobbies and fun activities, bring out those board games. When it cools off in the morning or late at night, go take a walk. If you're lucky enough to have a bike, go biking, and just get that energy out and replenish with good, positive energy. And again, if you're limited to being indoors, communicate by phone. We still have that as an option. Share funny stories, share embarrassing stories. It's really good to laugh. It helps those endorphins work that helps us deal with stressful times. And again, if you're in a situation where you're cohabitating with somebody, better not to make assumptions because that can lead to just not good communication. Talk about how everybody's going to financially contribute to keep the household going, to share in the chores, and we're going to get through these challenging times together. One of the other questions I've heard a lot since March is whether people should put off or delay either making or changing their legal documents. And my resounding answer is no, please don't delay. This is a really important time when we need to be sure that all of you and everybody that you know has medical advance directives. These are documents that when I come to the Pride Center every April for National Healthcare Directive Day, we talk about the importance of putting in writing a trusted person or multiple people that you trust to make healthcare decisions for you if for any reason you get sick, you become incapacitated, whether it's short term or more long term. So it's really important that we all have a designation of healthcare surrogate. That surrogate is your advocate. They're going to speak for you. They're going to have the ability to talk with your doctor, be at the hospital, do all those things that you and I normally take for granted when we're making our own healthcare decisions. And the best part about it is you get to choose who you're making the surrogate. We're not having to go to court and do a guardianship. We're not in that position where a judge is making the choices for us. And we're also saving the expense of not having to do a guardianship. So let's make sure we all have that designation of healthcare surrogate and consider having another advance directive like a living will where you can put in writing your preferences, your choices, your wishes for end of life care. While we hope that nobody is affected by this virus, we do know, unfortunately, that some people are more susceptible. So it's really important that the person you name as your surrogate knows how you feel about certain medical decisions that might have to be made. So I want to encourage everybody to have the medical advance directives in place. It's also important, more now than ever, that we all have a durable power of attorney. So the medical advance directives helps us with that personal side of our life, the healthcare, but we still have the other side, which is just as important, which is about making financial decisions, whether it's paying our bills on time, signing a tax return, anything like that. We need the power of attorney for in case we are temporarily incapacitated. So it allows us to name a trusted person and always think about having that backup. We need that successor. We want to make sure we have a plan that's going to work when the time comes. So the power of attorney is a great way to give legal permission to somebody that we trust to stand in our shoes and be able to make those financial decisions when we're incapacitated. And it doesn't make them an owner of our assets. So should the person that we name to make the financial decisions have any kind of financial hardship, whether it's a divorce, a bankruptcy, anything like that, that we don't anticipate, our assets are still protected. It's a more secure way than simply adding somebody's name on to our bank accounts. So I want to encourage everybody to take that step to have your documents created or updated. And please make a list of your questions, your concerns, and your goals. It's really important to share that with the attorney that you're going to see. Let the attorney know if you have any kind of hearing or visual limitation so that the attorney can accommodate your needs. And remember, if you have existing legal documents, you want to bring those with you. That way the attorney can review them and give you the best recommendation on how to change or update them. I really enjoyed being with all of you this morning. It's something I've missed the last few months, and I would love to invite you to join me on September 11th at 12:30 for a webinar I'm hosting called Tips to Be an Effective Advocate for Nursing Home Residents. You can go to my website, www.fl-elderlaw.com, to register. You'll go to our events calendar page and see everything we're doing in the next few weeks. And if you miss a webinar, don't worry. Everything is recorded. You can go right to the website and register to see a recording. So I want to encourage everybody to practice self-care during this time. Please take care of yourselves physically and emotionally, because I want to see you all when the Pride Center reopens. And thank you for being with me this morning.
Thank you, Stephanie. Some really valuable information. We really appreciate it. I'm sure a gentleman, Robert Boo, who also will share some information. I'm sure you have some comments.
Yes, I do. And actually, I was taking notes, and so I have a question for you, Stephanie. You had mentioned that they will be reaching out to individuals for Medicare, and I forget how you phrased it, but how will, in this world of when there's so many scams and things that are going out and people are calling or mailing or emailing, how will they reach out and how will they know this is a valid person to talk to?
That's a great question, and I'm really glad you're asking it, because we do want everybody to be really careful. It is a time where unscrupulous people are taking advantage of people being vulnerable. So the way the Medicaid agency tends to communicate is in writing. It'll come through the mail, and it will have the official logo of the Department of Children and Families on it, asking you for information for your annual recertification process. It'll have a phone number, so if you have any doubt, any question, call to make sure that this is actually coming from the Department of Children and Families in Florida.
Okay, great information, because we're always trying to ensure that we protect our elders and we protect all of our active agers when we're passing along all this information. And nowadays it's just really kind of hard to tell, is this a valid website? Is this a valid person? Is this a valid contact? So thank you for explaining and sharing that.
You're welcome.
So we have lots of good news and stuff that's going on and updates that I would like to share with everyone. So first, if you didn't see in the Sun Sentinel this morning, the governor late last night extended the moratorium on evictions through October 1st. So originally it was going to expire today, September 1st, but that did get moved to October 1st. So if you have any questions, whether you are a landlord or whether you are a renter, you can also reach out to Legal Aid, our partners at Legal Aid or Coast to Coast, for question answers and legal advice. And then since our topic every week is always regarding COVID, and Stephanie talked about all of the impacts of COVID on our audience here today. Also, just to make sure, check the caller ID for contact tracing, because as Stephanie said, there's some unscrupulous people out there that are trying to take advantage of people in the community. And so always look at the caller ID to ensure that this contact tracer is valid. And there are several telephone numbers that are only the 3 numbers that contact tracers are using. So go to the Fort Lauderdale website and you can download and look at all of the information for contact tracing, or the state of Florida's website. Also, just a couple of updates. Every week we announce where all the COVID testing locations are occurring. And so the walk-up testing site that was at Lincoln Park has permanently closed down. And then a couple of other locations have opened up. So for example, at Mills Pond is going to be opening up as a testing site Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, because at Thursday is when they always have the, if you're experiencing food insecurity, the three cities come together, Fort Lauderdale, Wilton Manors, and Oakland Park come together for the weekly food distribution at Mills Pond. So Mills Pond is going to be very busy Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday for COVID testing, Thursday for the food distribution, and then again, Friday, Saturday for COVID testing. COVID testing also continues at Holiday Park. So there they are doing the rapid testing. You can register at tourhealth.com, tourhealth.com. I went there and I did the rapid testing. It's less invasive than the first two times I went, where they took the pipe cleaner and like were scraping the back of my head, but it's not the same as the oral swab. And now they're doing both nostrils for the rapid testing. Had my results in 90 minutes. So it's really is amazing. So voter information, here's the update. So deadline to register. We're not telling you who to register, who to vote for. We're just wanting everyone to take their right to vote. So the deadline to register is October 5th for the November 3rd primary. And the last day to request a mail-in ballot, absentee ballot, call it whatever you want, it's the same thing. But the last day to request that is October 24th. And then early voting. I know, can you believe it's September 1st already? And then early voting starts October 19th through November 1st. And if you have requested an absentee or mail-in ballot, you can physically drop it off between October 19 and November 1 at any of the early voting locations. So if you plan to mail your ballot, please do so by the second week of October, and then you can check your status, because several weeks ago, I went online and I showed how you can check the status, because I always do mail-in or early vote or absentee ballot, whichever you want to call it, same thing. And so you can actually trace it by going to browardseo.org, browardseo.org. And there you can actually track it and make sure that it was received and counted. So from several sources, but from our Broward County Commissioner, Nan Rich, she sent out some valuable information regarding the CARES Act rental assistance. So Broward County has allocated $25 million in federal CARES funding for a program that will help residents pay portions of unpaid rent for the months of April, May, June, July, and August. So take advantage of that. Applications are being accepted yesterday, August 31st through September 6th. And the application must be completed in one sitting and cannot be partially completed, saved, and returned to at a later time. But the payments are made directly to the landlords. Therefore, if the landlord is not willing to complete the documents, the tenant will not be eligible to assist. So the payment has to be made to the landlord. So if you're a landlord, why would you not want to receive the funds? So legal defense against eviction, I already talked about legal aid and our partners Coast to Coast. You can go to their websites and get more information. And so also for a couple of cultural events that are going on, skate night, someone followed up with me last week and said, when did you say skate night is? Well, it's September 2nd. So that's tomorrow. And that is the Wilton Manors entertainment group that's putting that on September 2nd. And it is, just go to their website at WMEG, Wilton Manors Entertainment Group.org. You can get more information. And then the art walk is coming back in Wilton Manors here on September 19th. So the streets, remember, stay safe, wear your mask, Carry your bag of goodies around of masks and sanitized wipes and gloves. And if you see someone that doesn't have a facial covering on, please provide one for them. As you can see in my virtual background, Stephanie actually thought, how are you outside and not sweating? Well, it's because it's a virtual background. But this is the rendering of what the murals will look like here at the Equality Park campus on our residences and the Schubert building. It's going to be bright, bold, lively, lots of life and enthusiasm, and we can hardly wait for that to be done. So the murals are expected to be finished and up by the end of October. Hope nothing interferes with that timeline, but by the end of October. And then be sure to join me tomorrow at 1 o'clock when I do the virtual tour of the continued progress of the residences at Equality Park. And so my last thing is Census 2020. So as I briefly mentioned last week, because I didn't have my piece of paper to tell me, but Broward County, we're only at 60% response rate. Folks, how hard can this be? My 93-year-old mother physically called and put in her information. If my mother can do it, so can you. So there are going to be individuals going around to households, to addresses that have not responded. And again, they're counting beds and heads. Heads and beds. I knew that said that wrong. Heads and beds. So you do not have to be a US citizen. They're counting the number of people at an address. The information is locked up, secured for 72 years. I don't care how long you think you're going to live. I'm not going to be around in 72 years, so my information is safe and secure. So please, 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 please respond to that, because so much is dependent upon that. The allocation of trillions of dollars of funds that go out into the states, into communities, into organizations such as the Pride Center, Poverello, Broward House, Care Resource, you name it, we all benefit from it. So please respond to the census, because 60% is dismal. So please do better. So Bruce, I'm going to hand it back to you.
All right. Thank you, Robert, for all that information. And maybe one of these weeks, someone will listen to you about the census. that percentage number is not going up at all. So I don't know what to do to light a fire under people. Roger Roa, what's going on in your world these days?
Good morning, everyone. Am I on mute? No, I think you can hear me, right?
We can hear you.
Well, I'm just here. Let me pause my webinar. I'm taking some classes online to learn how to better fundraise in a pandemic time frame here. So we are trying to figure out solutions, because we have canceled all 3 of our major fundraising events: our Black Tie Gala, our Rainbow 5K, and now recently our the biggest victim, Wicked Manners Halloween, has been canceled for 2020. So we have a great opportunity. A donor came forth and is doing a matching opportunity for up to $10,000 for our Wicked Manners Halloween. Since that is such a large fundraiser for us, and the funds from that come back directly back to our community and help our programs and services, we really want everyone to help us get to that goal of $25,000 and exceed it by October 31st. So I'm just trying to learn the new systems of how to fundraise in a pandemic, whether it's virtual. Are we ever going to have in-person events? We'll see how that looks, but I'm trying to learn. We're also learning about grant opportunities, try to see what type of funding we can get for the Pride Center to offer some more programs and services here in our community. But I do want to ask, if you are not a member of the Pride Center, please, 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 please go online to our website, pridecenterflorida.org, and become a member. Become a senior member, a individual member, a household membership, or a founder. We really do need your support so that we can also, with all of those memberships, can go after some of our potential grants that are out there. And if you are a founder, I will be calling you shortly, soon, in the next couple of weeks. I'm doing a bunch of phone calls to just kind of catch up. So please pick up the phone. Don't think that I'm calling to ask for your credit card. No, I already have it. So that's about it for me, Bruce. I think it's back to you now.
Thank you so much, Roger, rather. In addition to the wonderful information that we've had from Stephanie and from Robert, let me add one more thing that you really need to know about. On September 15th at 2 o'clock, we are having a virtual Medicare 101 seminar. It's presented by the ADRC, the Area Agency on Aging of Broward County, and they will be giving a wonderful update on Medicare. Lots of changes have come through during the last year, so even though you think you might know what you're going to do with the annual enrollment period, this is a good time to play catch up. And if you're somebody that's approaching an age where you're going to need to decide what Medicare, when Medicare, and all that sort of stuff, you really need to join us for that. Nick has been kind enough in the past weeks to post the connections for that, and I think he will do that again this afternoon. And you must make a reservation. You will not be able to join that program without it. So that'll be on the 15th at 2 o'clock. It will be virtual. Thank you, Stephanie Schneider, for joining us. We so appreciate having you with us as always. Thank you, Facebook viewers, for joining us. Have a safe and wonderful Labor Day weekend, and we hope to see you here next Tuesday. Bye-bye.